What's up guys, welcome back from another YgoPro duel video, like a follow-up video from yesterday, or well, like a day before yesterday, right, with the Genex, Troymare, Mermail, Atlantean Frogs, you know, that Shenanigans build from the OCG. I like a follow-up video, again, as I mentioned before, because I was reading through the comments and a couple of people mentioned that, you know, what's really the benefit of Genex Undine, you know, what are the possible plays, what are the possible link plays, and I completely forgot that, you know, putting one of those example duels or more possibilities featuring Genex Undine in my previous video a couple of days ago. So with this, I'm going to you know, just showcase some possibilities I think are quite nice, quite nifty here in the Sekka Mermail build, let's call it like that, right? There are a couple of differences of, you know, different builds in the OCG. I think most builds don't really run the Ibli in the main deck, but the other cards like the O-Line, the Rose Nix, I believe the name is, staple, as you will see in a couple of moments. But also, I think I have 4 replays ready. There should be like a timestamp somewhere, either in the comment section or in the video itself. But again, it's fully based on opening with Genex Undine and then, you know, using your extra deck at its like fullest potential to spam everything on your side of the field. As for the build, yeah, Triple Light of Sekka, again, quite standard. You're running a couple of like quote-unquote Gen Knight Garnet cards, like, you know, the O-Line, for example, the Rose Nix, the Ronin Totem, but, you know, again, Light of Sekka is like just a pot of greed, and on top of that you can send those quote-unquote Garnet cards from your hand back to the deck. I have two different versions, 2 different builds ready, but yeah, again, I'll come back to the second build within the next couple of moments. So let's hop into the first example, a game featuring, you know, the standard Genex opening. Again, using your one of normal summon, you'll get a second one thanks to Troymare Goblin soon, but the card you will be sending here is Crystron Rose Nix, again going for a Link Spider, special summoning the Genex control, and then just, you know, keep upgrading your Link stuff, going for Sorceress, and it's up to you. You can go for Swap Frog, but most of the time just go for like another Mermail monster level 7, which can eventually reborn here with Gandhi, for example. Go for the Mermaid Troymare monster again, special summoning Ibli, etc, etc. Just give your opponent the Ibli, right? Then their first special summon needs to be a Link summon using the Ibli, that is. But yeah, all 4 of these quote-unquote combos all involve Mulling Glacier. So again, opening a duel, and of course your opponent not having like the Maxi or the Ash Blossom or any other form. Well, mainly Maxi, right? Ash Blossom you can play around, same for Maxi, right, with your own Ash Blossom or Designator from the grave, which, you know, you're not really main decking due to Light of Sekka. But yeah, anyway, basic plays, right, with your one of Genex Undine, and then using a couple of monsters in your hand. It doesn't really matter which monsters, right? As against Firewall Dragon will get you back a couple of monsters. No battle phase here due to Mulling Glacier, but it's not going to matter too much. Again, so much advantage built up. Another example. Again, the same opening and basic plays again, just using the Rose Nix, getting the token, Link Spider, special summoning, etc. Keep upgrading again your Link stuff, special summoning the O-Line, Sorcerers again, fetching either Swap Frog or, yeah, any Mermail monster, right? Skulldeed indeed, well, I've seen builds with and without Skulldeed. It again depends on your extra deck, as you will see in a couple of moments, like the other 2 replays do involve more extra deck monsters, right? But again, Skulldeed, replenish your hand. Skulldeed could also be nice, can definitely be nice here in the deck if you... Well, especially because you're running so many Garnet monsters, like sending back a Ronin Totem, for example, from your hand back to the deck. But again, use your extra normal summon in this case, thanks to Troymare Goblin, go for Diva, but again, yeah, it's the same stuff, right? Keep upgrading everything, and with Cerberus, eventually also Griffin, if you see the opportunity. Still a Firewall Dragon intact, and also, yeah, these combos are based on, well, pretty much the OCG, right, where Firewall Dragon is at 1. But again, yeah, also Dragoons is also at 3 in the OCG. That's also like a huge boost to this particular deck. But again, Mulling Glacier, quite an important card here, quite an important step in your combinations, ripping your opponent from 2 cards, again quite nasty. Again going, indeed no unicorn, but again having the protection of Griffin, Phoenix and Cerberus is again quite nice, and also Ibli on your opponent's side of the field, quite important. The second list again, you're running more quote-unquote bricky cards in your main deck, a second copy of Genex controller, which will be clear in a couple of moments, and Dandelion, of course, because you're also running a couple of extra Link monsters in your extra deck, because, you know, you're using your Link summon much more here in this particular version, like Cherubini is here in the extra deck, for example. Which other card? The Lightsworn, it's not needed, but as you will see in a couple of moments, you can tutor any of your side deck cards, like, for example, Anti-Spell Fragrance, which, you know, can definitely be an instant side deck staple against currently the best deck in the OCG, Pendulums, either Pendulum Magicians or Zephyras, right? And yeah, going second, going third, you might want to side deck out those Light of Sekkas maybe in favor of Anti-Spell or Designator, you know what I mean. But again, the biggest disadvantage of this particular way of running the build is, again, more extra deck spaces are needed, so at this point, the Abyssalacia is not in the extra deck, but it should be there, right? Same for Tomahawk, Borlo Dragon as well. Yes, Skulldike, maybe not, but the other 2/3 might be needed. But I'm sure that with more playtesting, more time to, you know, test these particular combos, there might be some steps that you know, basically not need, or you can just skip a couple of Link steps, right? Basically the same play. Special summoning, at least eventually going for Abystius, indeed. 2 level 3 monsters going for Cherubini, and that's where you are using your Dandelion. Keep upgrading for Firewall Dragon, 2 co-linked cards, and then getting back a Genex Undine, since thanks to your Troymare Goblin, you will get your second normal summon of the turn, getting another Genex controller, but most importantly, you will be sending your Dragoons from your deck to the grave, again, giving you the Surge of Neptabyss, and again, thanks to Firewall, getting Neptabyss on the field. Neptabyss will send the second Dragoons from your deck to the graveyard, and eventually you will be setting up your Mulling Glacia again. So again, the same series of combinations, and if you want, you can definitely go for like that Troymare lock, I can call it like that, with with Cerberus, Unicorn, Griffin, definitely the case, and Phoenix as well. But again, it was up to you if you wanted to use your Security Dragon to bounce back Ibli. Definitely an option, but that's up to you, right? The opponent is under the Griffin lock, and yeah, Troymare, Phoenix, and Cerberus are definitely alive. He was almost able to come back, but again, a lot of advantage, and yeah, again, the Troymare cards into full effect. I think I still have one replay ready. I get a couple of draws here off of Unicorn, but skipping the battle phase, but again, it's not going to matter too much. That's showcasing the possibilities. Last example, this one takes the cake, but yeah, mostly maybe, you know, during game 2, during game 3, where you're side taking something like Anti-Spell. Props for this combo. Well, I forgot the channel's name. I'll put it in the video description. You know, shoutouts for the second part here of this particular combo with the Lightsworn card. Pretty much the same as last time again, getting back Dandelion and the Genex Undine, going for Troymare Goblin, getting the extra normal summon and the discard of Dandelion. Normal summon Undine again, you know, getting your Dragoon's engine going. Light of Sekka will not be used here, since I'll be using the Lightsworn Kyrios, I believe the name is, to send Anti-Spell from my deck to the grave eventually, but first make Mulling Glacia live. This should be the 4th water, then using Link Kuriboh for the 5th, and there it is, Mulling Glacia ripping 2 cards from the opponent. Go for Kyrios, indeed, send any trap card, you know, that you maybe side-decked in, something like Anti-Spell, and then, well, depends, right, on your monsters in your hand, or maybe you're lucky like milling like frogs or whatever, but eventually going for Griffin as well, and ending with Phoenix also, and you're definitely having the option here, since Griffin was able to discard my Gundy to special summon another Mermail monster to the graveyard. No Light of Sekkas is again, that would prevent me from using the Anti-Spell here, but again, it's just to showcase, right, the possibilities. So this last combo will probably not be like super high top tier, since it does involve you running an extra copy of Genex controller in your main deck. Same for Dandelion, that's also not really too optimal in Mermails, right? But you do, well, you are running Light of Sekka, so again, getting those 2 draws and possibly banish it from the graveyard to send like a dead Dandelion, for example, from your hand back to the deck, shuffle your deck and draw 1 card. But yeah, Light of Sekka is not searchable, so that's something to keep in mind. Yeah, okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.